Hello everyone. Good morning. Welcome to Technical Router. Today let us discuss about the conditional statement. Okay, what is a conditional statement? What is a conditional statements and types of conditional statements and examples based on those conditional statements. Okay, if we have any condition in the program, on those case we are going to use this Java conditional statements. Okay, if I have any condition in this statements, for example, when we write an exam, on what basis you are going to say that the person is passed or failed? Right? Based on the marks, right? Based on the marks, we are going to say that the person is passed or failed. Based on his marks, we are going to say that the person is pass or fail. A person is having more than 35 minutes, we can say that he is passed, or he is having an less than 35 minutes, he is failed. He is having more than 35, pass, less than 35 minutes, fail. Here we are going to checking in condition, right? We are checking in condition. Based on those condition only, we are going to say that the student is pass or fail. Based on this condition, if you want to execute any code, we are going to use this Java statements. Okay. First of all, what is a Java statement? It is used to execute a block of code based on some condition. So it is used to execute block of code based on some condition. Based on some condition, we are going to execute some block of code. Here the condition isn't based on pass or fail. Based on his marks, we are going to see that the person is passed or failed. The types. Let us see the types. The types are an if else, if else, if, or in if we are going to see these many if else, or nested condition and switch. And we are going to see switch condition, switch. And these are the types of conditional statement. Let us see syntax. Okay, let us see syntax. Mm, One by one syntax, let us see here. Syntax of if. Okay, syntax of if. These if else if all these are an predefined keywords. Okay, the first is an keyword. Within the parameter, within the parenthesis, we are going to write an expression. This any expression is an arithmetic expressions. Okay, we are going to use an arithmetic expressions and followed by block of code. Within the braces, we are going to write an logic of the program based on the expression. Okay, this is a syntax of the if. Next is a syntax of if and else. Syntax of if else. Okay, the first is an if, then expression. Here the same thing. Here what you are done here, same thing. If closed braces, and the next will be a condition. Next one is else. Okay, if this condition is false, if this condition does not execute, then definitely the else block will execute. Okay, if this condition does not, here we are going to example, we are going to write here and the person is holding in marks greater than 35. Okay, if it is holding in marks greater than 35 means it is going to execute this block, or if it is less than 35 minutes, it is going to execute this block. It is going to execute pass block, it is going to execute a fail block. Okay, now the last one is an if else if. Syntax of if else, if else. Okay. First is an if, keyword, parenthesis expression followed by in the braces. And next is an else if block, else if the keyword within the parameters. Okay. Executing a block of code, and next last is an else block. There is no expressions for the else block. Okay. It will be some block of logic of the code and close. Okay, within the one line also we can write it down. If this condition is false, it is going to execute the, see this condition. This condition is also false, it is going to execute this condition. Or if this condition is true, means it will going to execute this condition only, and will come off out of the main method. Out of main method is going to come. Okay. In let us see some examples on based on this. For example, let us take one number, that number is 10. If that number is 10, okay, that number is 10 means I'm going to print an high, or it is not an 10 number, I'm going to print as an hello. Okay. For that, I'm going to take an int data type, int n is equals to 10. If block, only two conditions. If number is 10, print high, or else hello. Okay, only two conditions. For that, we are going to use an if or else block. Okay, if and else block. N is equals to 10 means I'm going to execute as an hi. I'm going to print it as an hi. Or else means print it down as a hello. Okay. Now, if first initially the n is equals to 10, it will come for n if block. Okay. Then is 10, 10 double equals to 10, right? The 10 is equals to 10. It is going to compare the values. Okay. It is going to compare the values. The 10 is equals to 10. It is going to execute this block. I am going to get an output as an high now. See, I got output as an high. But let me change the number. I'll take a number as an 5. So it is come to first if block. After this line, it will check the condition. 5 is double equals to 10. Both are same. No, it is not same. It will come out of this block, the close parameter, the close braces of this block. Okay. And it will come for this block and it will execute this block. Okay. It is going to execute an hello. See. Okay. This is one example. I'll take one more example. See, I have taken and three characters A, B, C. If an character is A means I'm going to print an output as an apple. Character is B means I'm going to print an output as an bat. If character is C means I'm going to print an output as an cat. Does right now logic for this program. Now I'm going to take an character Z is equals to initially I'm going to take an A. Let us check now. Okay. If Z equals to A, what I have to print? If Z is equals to A means I have to print as an apple, right? If Z is equals to A means they print as an apple. So there is and more than two conditions. Here there is more than two conditions. So we are going to use a if else if block, else if blocks, and last we are going to use an else block. If there is and more than two conditions, okay, two or three conditions, we are going to use this else if block, and last is else block. If else if. First, we are done with the first character A. Now B. If one character is equals to B means going to print an as bat. Okay. The next else if one more condition is there. Condition is character is C means we are going to print output as a cat. Either of these not. If the character is G, H, I, J, K, L, M means we are going to execute as an this block. Enter only A or B or C. Okay. Now I have taken a character as C. I am going to get an output as an apple. But is going to come here. It will check the condition A is equals to A. Now it is going to print this condition. starting on it is printing. So if the condition satisfied, once it is going to print this one and will come out of this class. Okay, out of this class I'm going to print it now, this apple. Now I'm going to take a character as an C. Okay, I'm going to get a character as C. We'll check here C is equals to A. No, it is not A. It will come out of the block and it will check this block. Else if condition will check C is equals to B. No, it is not. It will come out of the block and check here. If it is true, it is going to print output as a cat. Right? See? Cat. Now one more. I'm going to take an as Y. Okay. To take an out character as an Y. Will check here, does not satisfy, come out of the block. It will check here, no it is not true, false, come out of the block. It will check here, it is not true. Either of these or these three, either of these are not true means it will definitely execute an this else block. Okay, either of any blocks of not true means it will execute an else block. See, enter only A, B, C. Okay, these are about if else. I'll take one more example. To print, and let us take an to print an even and odd numbers. Okay, to print an even and odd numbers, for that we need one number. To take an integer data type as a number, int num is equals to 24. So we have a condition that if number is an even means that num dot 2 is equals to 0, right? If num mod 2 is equals to 0 means it is an even number. It is an even number. Or it does not follow this, it is not satisfying this condition means it will definitely come for an else block, that is an odd number. See, I have taken a number as in 24 will come here. It will check the condition 24 mod 2 it is equals to 2, that is an true. So I'm that time it is going to execute this block even number. Okay, not execute the even number. For example, I'm going to change the number. Check number 70. It will come for first year. 17 mod 2 is equals to 0. No, it is not equal to 0. It will come out of the block and it will execute in this block. There is no other some other blocks. Direct it will come for else block and it will execute this one. And I'm going to get an output as an odd number. See, odd number. Okay, these are some of the examples of an if and else blocks. You practice some more on these. It's very easy, you can practice. Now let us see one more concept. That is an in previously we are discussing about some lot of programs. In that I am going to take an input initially only. See, I have taken input as an initially. Here only I have taken an input 17. In now we let's see how to get an input on the console. Okay, how to get an input on the console. The CN console input. To get an input on the console, we have one predefined class, that is a scanner class. Okay, we have a predefined, that is a scanner class. This is a predefined class. This is a predefined class. To import this class, we have to, for creating of object for this class, we have to import an java.util.scanner java.util class, util package. Sorry, we have to import an java.util package. Okay. Uh, so we can create an object for this scanner class like an scanner sc is equals to new scanner of system.in. In this way, we are going to create an object for the scanner class. We have some of the inbuilt methods for this integer data type for this in scanner class. Okay, for int, we have an sc dot next int method. Okay. For float is equals to sc dot next float method. For string is equals to sc dot next method. Okay. For char sc dot next dot caret method. Okay. These are the some of the methods for an int, float, string, and character. Let us see one example based on this scanner class. I've taken one more class as a sample 2 class. In the previous, when we are doing a methods concept, I explained one example of the rectangle, area of a rectangle. Okay. To write a logic for the area of rectangle. Let us take that example and let us execute by using a scanner class. Okay. Let us execute by using a scanner class. So to get an input on the console, we are going to use a scanner class, that is a scanner. The scanner is present in a java.util package. We have to import it. See, when we here only is the java.util package. I have inputted see java.util.scanner class. Okay, I have to create an object reference equals to new scanner of system.in. Okay. For an area of a rectangle, we need an two variable, that is an float. Right. I'm going to take an two variables of an float data type. Okay. First of all, let us enter to get an input of the console. Let us enter value of L and B. Okay. Let us enter the value of L and B. Okay. I'm going to take an float L1 is equals to sc dot next float method, right? Next float b1 is equals to sc dot next float. Okay. Now let us do an formula. The area of a rectangle is a length into breadth. Float result is equals to L1 into B1. Let us execute that R. See, before I have initialized the when we're writing program only, I have initialized the value of an L1 and B1. Okay, but here I have not initialized. When I'm going to execute, after that I'm going to initialize. I'm executing. See, I'm going to get in two values that are, and I'm going to enter in 2, 5. See, 5 2s are 10. Now 1 second, I'm going to execute. 1 second, 5 space 5. See, right. In this way, we are going to use a scanner class when we are going to, if I initially means for each and every time we are going to execute means when to come for the program and have to change the values in the program. But here, how many times I run? How many times I run? I'm going to give the values in the console, right? 4, 4, right? I can execute once again. I can execute once again. It is an 3, 3, right? In these ways, we are going to use a scanner class. Okay, in this one way, and we can use for each of the every program, we can use a scanner class also. Okay. Now let us see some of the naming statements. Let us learn one more topic, that is a naming statements. Naming statements in Java. There are two naming statements that are an Pascal naming statements and an Camel's naming statements. Now let us see an first one, that is a Pascal's naming statement. The first is a Pascal naming statement. It states that use uppercase letter for every words to start with. Whichever the word we are going to start with, the first letter should be an caps, uppercase letters. Okay, the first letter should be an caps. Okay, now use uppercase letter for every word to start with. Okay. For example, triangle. Triangle. In this word, the first letter is in caps. And now my class. My class. My is one word and class is one word. For my, I am going to use M as in caps and Y as a small. Next is in class. For class, the first letter should be in C. It should be in caps. Okay, that is in Pascal's name is, and one more is in rectangle. I'm going to use the first letter is in caps. This is about the first naming and it is in Pascal's. Next one is then that is in Camel's naming statement. The next is in Camel's naming statements. Okay, use completely lowercase for the first word. This states that the first word should be completely in lowercase. Okay, the first word should be in completely lowercase. Use completely lowercase for first word. Okay, the first word that should be in the complete lowercase should be there, and the next word should be follow and Pascal standard. For next word that should follow and Pascal standards. The next word should start with the Pascal standards. Okay. The next word should be in Pascal standard. For example, I'm going to write here. I'm going to take an example here. For example, get Celsius. The first word should be completely lowercase, and the from second word we are going to follow and Pascal standard. Pascal standard means that the first word of the every letter. Okay, the first word, the first letter should be in caps. Okay, get area. See, it's following, right? And one more is if it is having an my phone number. My phone number. These are the two naming standard, that is in Pascal naming statements and in Camel naming standard. The Pascal state that for every word the first letter should be in caps, and then Camel states that the first word should be in completely smaller case, and then the second word it should be in, there it is, sorry. For next word onwards, it should follow in Pascal's onward, it should follow in Pascal standards. Should follow in Pascal standards. The first word is in completely smaller case, and from the next word is going to follow in Pascal standard. That is in the word, the first letter in the word, the first letter should be in caps. These are about the naming statement. Today I have started with the conditional statement. I've done some of them, and tomorrow's class let us learn about the nested and then switch case. And I explained about the to get an input on the console about that, and I explained about the naming statements. I'm going to end here. Thank you.